Our most anticipated board games for Gen Con 2022. Welcome to Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Melissa Delp.
And I'm Kevin Delp. We are talking about board games at Gen Con 2022. We're going to divide this video into three different sort of categories. The first sort of category are games that we've already played that we want to share with you. The second category are our most anticipated games. And then we're going to sort of end the video with games that you can demo at Gen Con. Not purchase, but things that you can actually play if you're going to be there.
Now, there was a Gen Con preview list on BGG, and it had over 300 titles on it. So there is a lot more that is going to be at the show. And actually, some of the games are the same that were previewed for Origins, and we are not going to mention any of those games in this video. You can check out our Origins anticipated video up there for some more games that will probably be at Gen Con.
Let's get started. The first one for the already played games that I wanted to mention is Sink or Swim from Bezier Games. This is a cooperative synchronization type game where you are trying to complete different routines cooperatively, but it's timed. And I love the co-op nature of playing those numbered cards in the right place in the right time, trying to complete those missions, the routines.
It can get a little frantic as you're trying to get the right cards.
And there's different levels of routines, different difficulty levels. I appreciate that.
So the one I'm going to talk about next is Thunder Rolls, and it's being published by Mr. B Games. It was on Kickstarter. It's designed by our friend Richard Lanius, and there's a Tantrum House card in this game. It's one that we played a lot during development. Yeah. I
thought you were going to bring that out.
Won a trophy in the Tantrum House 500. We have a video of the playthrough, and I also have a how to play video. But this is a NASCAR-esque stock racing game. A lot of fun. I really enjoy Thunder Rolls.
Thunder Rolls. Another one game is that we've played that's available. It's called Kites. And that is from Floodgate Games. It's where, you're flying kites. I like the theme, and you're drawn in. Now, this has little sand timers.
Oh, yeah, and we played, it was a prototype.
It was a prototype, but I'm putting this in the already played area because we have actually played a version of it. Different levels of sand timers that are basically the sand is going through at different times, and you're trying to cooperatively work together to complete the goals for the kites. I find that interesting. The real-time nature of that is a little frantic. I don't know. It's a little different than the sink or swim franticness.
Well, you're playing cards, and the cards you play determines which sand timers you flip over. And like Kevin said, some of them go fast, and some of them are kind of slow, so you're trying to time things correctly.
So if that sounds interesting, you can definitely check out Kites from Floodgate Games.
All right, the next one is, we actually have the box, and this is Paint the Roses from North Star Games, and this is a deduction logic game.
Not social deduction.
Right. This is a cooperative game where you're trying to figure out how to meet the queen's whims so she doesn't chop off your head. Yeah. So, Alice in Wonderland.
We really enjoy playing this. It's, I don't want to say it's a laid-back type game, but it's almost like, in a way, relaxing. You're cooperative, like, you're just basically placing tiles in the middle of the game board, and you're trying to complete easy, medium, or hard objectives. There in the game, I think different versions have some expansion, or what'd you call
it?
Different modules. I've enjoyed some of them. That we've added in to make it a little bit more complex.
Right. So if you like cooperative, deduction, logic, then definitely check out Paint the Roses, and the deluxe version is very nice.
Very nice. Highly recommend that one. We have one more on our list for games we've already played, and that is from AEG, and that is Wormholes. This is probably a game that I probably played a lot recently, and I've really enjoyed sharing it with a bunch of our different game groups and friends and acquaintances. This is a pick up and deliver type game where you are dropping wormholes around the different parts of the galaxy. Your own wormholes, using your wormholes to go to different planets, but you can also use other people's wormholes, giving them points.
Points for me. I got a lot of points this last game.
And you're trying to drop off passengers to the different planets. I love I don't know, every game just seems a little bit different. Where should I drop my wormholes off? There's a little variability in what's on the board.
It's a modular board, double-sided.
Yeah, are the planets closer to each other? Are they farther away? Is it taking me longer? How am I going to get there? Which ones do I actually want to get to? So we did a whole viewpoints video. If you're interested in that, you can check out our wormholes viewpoints, but really enjoyed this. And it plays pretty quickly too, which I like. So if you feel like you're a little behind, yeah.
It goes pretty quick.
Wormholes from AEG. I think we're ready to get into our most anticipated games at Gen Con. Number 10. The number 10 in our spot is Keepers. This is from Van Ryder Games.
Now it's I don't know, the description reminded me a little bit of Dixit, where you have a hand of cards and they have different pictures on them, except in this game they are actual photographs of nature. So not like the weird pictures that you would have in Dixit. And if it's your turn to be the keeper, clue giver person, you're going to say a one-word clue, which is not a noun.
Yeah, I did see that. Not a noun. This is, so you're doing more descriptive type words.
Right, a descriptive word, and then each player chooses a card from their hand that they think fits that, puts it on the table, they all get shuffled, and then people vote on which ones they think meet that word the best. So I think that's where it felt like a little Dixit to me, because you have a little bit of the judging to it.
I would put this in the world of Mysterium, Obscurio, the key one. I mean, the type of game. It just reminded me, looking at it, I'm like, oh, another game like this, but from a different company, from Van Ryder. The art looked cool. It felt like, oh, I'd like to try it. So it was definitely on our top 10 list. That's Keepers from Van Ryder Games.
Number 9. So Kevin and I have different games in the number 9 slot. Yep, didn't sync up for this one. Mine is Planet Unknown from Adam's Apple Games, and this was on crowdfunding. It's something that I have heard great things about from Ryan and Katie, who played it, from Charlie and Hannah, my brother and sister-in-law. Basically, they're like, this is an awesome game and you would love it. It has tile laying. It has a lazy Susan. I've heard great things on the internet, just social media about it.
We never got to our table when we saw the prototype a few years ago. But.
So, haven't played it. I am anticipating, hopefully, maybe being able to play it at Gen Con.
Planet Unknown. Very cool. Well, mine is The Great American Mail Race.
Oh, like, postal system?
Yeah, the postal system. This is from Big Potato, so probably on the lighter end. But it says it plays in 45 minutes for 2 to 4 players. And it looks like you're trying to deliver mail. But as I was reading about it, you can deliver using 13 official USPS methods. I was like, 13 methods? Wow. I was like, so they're actually going back in history. You can use the Pony Express. You can use...
Probably not going to be an airliner. Maybe.
I don't know. You can use a hot air balloon. You can use a rocket. So I'm really intrigued on how these different, like...
Rocket.
Different uses, different methods of delivering mail play into the game. So that is the U.S. Mail Service, the Great American Mail Race from Big Potato. Number 8. We did not sync up in number 8 either. I have Longboard from 25th Century Games. Larry was at Origins and he said he was able to try this out, so I'm interested in Longboard. This is a game where you're trying to collect pieces of like surfboards and place them in like a connection so they sort of make a big surfboard, and you're trying to create big ones and you're trying to create the most, I believe, as well, Longboard. So it seemed like a really easy sort of set collection type game. when I see it, like when I saw it online, it reminded me of another game called Blossoms. I believe that's from Rebel Studio, where you're trying to put cards to make a really long flower. Of course, that's a flower theme. This is a longboard theme with a surfing sort of idea. So that is something I'm interested in trying.
This one a Reiner Knizia?
I believe
theme?
it is, yes.
Okay.
So maybe there's some connection there. I don't know. That is Longboard.
Okay, I'm interested in Lacrimosa.
Ooh,
Did I
a
say that
music
correctly?
Mozart game.
It is. It's a game about sort of Mozart. It's from De Veer is the publisher. And basically it's a hand management game where you're playing as a patron of Mozart.
Okay.
But you're playing in two different time periods. So some of the cards that you're playing are dealing with when Mozart is still alive, and you're trying to get certain parts of is it a requiem or some sort of
There's
music
Requiem out there.
piece done. And then other parts of the game is in the present, and this is after Mozart has died, and you're trying to get in good graces with his wife, I think it is, who is writing memoirs, so that you would be his biggest patron and also kind of have your name connected to Mozart. And the cards have multi-use in them, so I like that where you have decisions of, am I going to use the card for this, or am I going to use the card for that? So it looked interesting. There aren't that many games themed around music and composers. So that is Lacrimosa from De Veer.
Number 7. We've synced up together and we are talking about Ready, Set, Bet from AEG. I'm a big fan of betting type games. There's horse racing games. We have Long Shot. The regular board game, we have Long Shot, the dice game.
Enjoy that one.
This one, it seems like you're rolling dice to try and bet on the different horses. So I'm interested in what Ready Set brings. What about you?
Yes, well, bluffing/betting games can be a little hit or miss for me. There are some, like Long Shot, the dice game, that I really do enjoy. But I saw that it was from John D. Clare, the designer, and I like most of his games. So I'm definitely interested, cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
Number 6. So Kevin and I chose the same game for the number 6 slot, and that is Evergreen from Horrible Guild. And I saw pictures of it online, and it looked interesting. It has an inset board, and you have some wooden pieces that represent trees and shrubs and water. And it looks like there's some card drafting involved, and the cards that you don't take are going to make certain other things more nutrient rich for where you want to build. So it seems like there's some interesting concepts going on in the game. What do you think, Kevin?
What really drew me in was not only the art and the concept. Horrible Guild usually is really good with that, but what you're talking about when you don't play cards, it sounded like those are become like fallow ground, and then they become better ground to plant in the future rounds. So I'm wondering how that will play with, I really want to play this card, but I should not play it so that I can play it later in the game, so maybe it becomes more like powerful or something. I think that sounds really interesting in the game sort of mechanics in Evergreen. Number 5. We have chosen together Knightfall. This is from Red Raven Games. I've enjoyed most of Red Raven Games. Their art, Andrew Bosley is on this one, so I've really liked the artwork on this, and of course...
It's not Ryan Lockett?
No, and well, I guess he did a little bit of it, but maybe they did a little bit for both, so... and then Ryan Lockett, of course, did the game design with T. Alex Davis, so there seems like some collaboration between artists and designers. This is where you are sort of asymmetric, and you have your own role as you're playing the game. Melissa, what's the game sort of about?
So it's 2 teams, and one team is controlling the knights who are protecting the elders, and then the other team is playing the demons who are trying to seal the underworld before morning. So each team has, I believe, an asymmetric goal that's going on during the game.
Ooh, interesting. That's Knightfall from Red Raven Games. Definitely check that out.
Number 4. So Kevin and I did not sync up
Different games.
for this one. So I'll start, and my number 4 is Catherine Cities of Tsarina, and this is from Capstone Games. I like that it's hand management with multi-use cards. So you can either use your cards for the actions and resources, or you can discard them, get rid of them to activate other cards. So you're going to have to make some tough choices in the game, it sounds like. I also liked that it's a fairly short game. It was listed at about 30 to 45 minutes. So a quick card game, kind of the Catherine, I'm guessing the Great?
Yeah, Catherine
maybe?
the Great, yeah.
Yes. So,
From Russia.
Yes.
So mine's actually a shorter game.
Oh, even
20
shorter.
minutes.
20 minutes.
This is Yosemite from WizKids, and it is a grid-based game where, and it's only 2 players, too. 2-player only. I know we play a lot of like 3, 4, 5 players, but 2-player only game where you are 2 photographers trying to get the best photographs, and you're moving your photographers on the grid and trying to get the best photographs of the animals and the sights and things like that. I will say, when I saw the word Yosemite, I don't know if I would actually think Yosemite looks like Yosemite or something like that. It's a weird word. It's a weird word.
It is an unusual spelling.
But
I did think I saw that one, and it was interesting. It sounded like based on which tile you were on or the animal,
it's gonna where you'd be moving.
It's gonna move you in different ways.
Yeah. So the art drew me in. The gameplay sounded interesting, and it plays fast too. So 2-player game, Yosemite from WizKids.
Number 3. So number 3, we are in sync again.
Simpatico.
We have come back together on number 3 to talk about Skymines from Pegasus Spiel.
Now, this game is actually a re-implementation of a game called Mombasa. I think that was from R&R Games. So somehow Pegasus Spiel got the rights, or was able to re-implement the game. The theme sounds really cool to me. I like the space theme, building sky mines. I believe there's some card programming in the game. I've actually played Mombasa years and years ago, so I don't remember a lot about it, but I enjoyed the mechanics of the game. So there's card programming, and then there's some hand management of the cards as well going on in the game. So I liked what both of those were bringing to the table. What about you?
Yeah, I saw the programming, the hand management. It's Alexander Pfister.
Oh.
So, it's going to be kind of that midway to maybe mid-heavy weight game with a lot of planning, thinking, and strategizing going on.
Skymines from Pegasus Spiel. Number 2. Different games for our number 2 game. Mine is Revive from Aporta Games. This is a civilization game for 1 to 4 players, I believe. Yep, 1 to 5 players. Plays in about 60 to 90 minutes. They say it's a campaign game. I would say more of it's like a game where you're unlocking modules throughout the game, sort of like Space Base did. They had a sort of campaign. It's not like you're putting stickers or things like that on it. But this game, you're unlocking sort of modules that will enable your civilization to grow throughout the campaign. But by the time you reach that 5th game, you can continue to play. It's not like, I can't play the game anymore. So that seemed really interesting to me. Civilization that plays pretty quickly, 60 to 90 minutes. Civilization games usually take a long time. So you're growing your population, expanding your borders, things like you would normally do in a civilization game. But Revive is from Aporta. You really like the Magnificent.
I do really like the Magnificent.
And they put some other games out there that we've really enjoyed. So that's what sort of made this game rise to the top for me, because I was like, they usually put out really good games. Civilization games we don't play a lot of, but I thought this really sounded interesting with sort of growing it over a number of games instead. So Revive from Aporta. What about you?
I hadn't really heard or seen much about that one yet. Sounds interesting.
It wasn't on the geek list. I found it off the geek list. Secret. You heard it here.
So my game for number 2 is Turing Machine from Scorpion Mask. I believe at Gen Con it'll be at the Hache booth.
Yeah, it's spelled like hatchet, but I'm pretty sure you say Hache. We'll double check when we see them at Gen Con.
But this is a deduction game, and I love deduction. I love logic, and basically looks like you're trying to code break with this machine. There's some things that turn. You may
Interesting.
recognize the Turing Machine from the movie The Imitation Game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a code-breaking machine during the World Wars, and I am just really intrigued by good deduction games, so I'm hoping that it's really good, and I hope I get a chance to try it out at Gen Con.
Number 1. We have come to number 1. Together. It is Terracotta Army from Board and Dice.
Now, I like several of the T games. Some of them I like more than you do.
Yeah.
Takeda is one of my favorites. It's up there at the top.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see where they go with this T. It says it has worker placement.
You like worker placement games?
I do like worker placement. I've seen some, I'm not sure if they actually spin, but kind of some round.
Oh, okay. Some rondelle stuff maybe, or
maybe.
Or
maybe, possibly, but action spaces that are they're round.
Board?
I'm not sure if it spins or not.
Okay.
There's also Terracotta Army pieces that you're
cool.
placing into kind of the crypt mausoleum, and I think the way they're placed is going to be important, so maybe some pattern building aspects.
There's quadrants on the board, which reminds me of some other T games that we've already played. So I'm wondering if there's going to be some similarities or not. But it appeared that when I was looking at the board, some quadrants going on. In the description, it talks about like presence and domination are like key to winning this game. So it sounds like my type of game with area control, area majority things going on.
Okay.
So I mean, Terracotta Army, and you gotta come on. I mean, the whole thing is about like area and stuff like that.
All right, so a little bit of stuff for you, hopefully a little bit of stuff for me, and maybe it'll be the perfect combination
maybe it'll be.
for us.
Yeah.
Oh, Terracotta Army from Board and Dice.
We're going to jump into games that we find interesting that you can demo at Gen Con.
All right, so here's a list of games that appeared on the demo list. So they're not available for purchase yet, but they will be coming at some point in the near future, either to retail or to crowdfunding.
One of the games we both thought was interesting that you could demo, and that is from CGE. It's called Starship Captains. What's this game about, Melissa?
Well, first off, it looks kind of Star Trek-ish with the uniforms.
Yeah.
It's not Star Trek, but maybe paying homage to Star Trek.
There you go. CGE has done a couple space games. You have Space Alert. You have Pulsar 2049, Galaxy Trucker. So I'm assuming this is totally different because most of their games are different from each other.
Right. Yeah, I do not believe that this has a real-time aspect like...
That's good.
like Galaxy Trucker. It's action selection and engine building.
Those are great. Sound great to me.
It sounds like you have a crew and a ship, and throughout the game you can train your crew to get better, more efficient. You can upgrade your ship, so you're doing things, getting more bonuses and benefits. There is, it looks like, a board, or at least spaces that you're trying to get to with your people and ships. Again, haven't played it yet.
Right.
Hope to demo it.
Like you said, the cover is like Star Trek. It has a little cartoony feel to it. I hope that it doesn't, the cover doesn't detract from, like, if it's a really like strategic type game. I'm interested definitely in that because CG does usually put out some really solid games. So that's Starship Captains. Yeah. So definitely, if you're there at Gen Con, go to the CGE room because they're not in the main hall. They have their own room that you can check out.
Usually upstairs.
So what else is on your list Melissa?
Well, Direwolf has announced Clank Catacombs. Direwolf is now taking the Clank line, I believe, themselves instead of going through Renegade.
Yep.
And this is a standalone deck building game.
Okay.
But you can add in cards from the other Clank expansions.
Okay. Just not Clank expansion, just regular Clank.
Regular Clank, I believe. And their kind of tagline was leave the board behind. So it's like, oh, is there no board? Well, I was doing a little bit more looking, and it's tiles. So I think you're kind of exploring the dungeon, the catacombs, as you go and building out the tiles as you go. So there's going to be variability in each game.
I would find that interesting. You're much more of a fan of Clank than I am. I'm okay playing the game with you, but the tiling sounds interesting. So
that is Clank Catacombs, and you'll find that at the Dire Wolf booth. Kevin?
Mine, one that you can demo that I'm really interested in is called Dragonfest. This is from Adam's Apple Games.
Oh, so Planet Unknown.
Dragonfest. This is, they say, build your nest of gilded eggs by harnessing the floating magical rings. So,
okay.
It doesn't really say too much about the game, but you are trying to, get sort of set collection. It sounds like these eggs. So Adam's Apple is really known for their games having some sort of unique sort of mechanisms. Like Planet Unknown had the Lazy Susan. They had some other games that was just, there was a Sword Crafters, I think was one of the first ones you're adding to the sword. This one says it's a new type of engine building called action building. So round tactical puzzles push and pull you to spend magical rings. So I'm all about finding games that sort of have a new take on different mechanics. I love engine building games. Like, they're really like one of my favorite types of games.
He's good at them too.
So I'm really interested in what Dragonfest is going to bring to the table with this action building. So, and Adam's Apples, we're a fan. So Dragonfest, check that one out.
All right, the next one I'm interested and excited about is Fit to Print from Flat Out Games. So this is the opening sentence on BGG. Fit to Print is a puzzly tile-laying game about breaking news designed by Peter McPherson and set in a charming woodland world created by Ian O'Toole.
Let me just say, Fit to Print, this is a Melissa type game. That's what they should do the tagline.
Yes. So, yeah, I love everything about that. Puzzly, tile-laying. News. I was a journalism major in college.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I've liked other games designed by Peter McPherson, which would be Tiny Towns and Wormholes. So Fit to Print. Now, it is a real-time game.
Oh, no.
But if you don't like the real-time aspects, they do have a few other modes that you can play. There's the slow-mo mode.
I never know.
And then a puzzly mode. So it looks adorable from what I've seen so far. I love tile laying. And I actually do like some real-time games. So looking forward to Fit to Print from Flat Out Games.
My last game I want to talk about in the games you can demo at Gen Con is called Marrakesh from Queen Games. They've had these their city line. Some of them have been re-implementations of older games. Marrakesh, I believe, is a whole new game from Stefan Feld. And this game is a little bit longer of a game. It says 2 hours to play for 2 to 4 players. I was talking to Larry Estrella, who went to Origins, and I think he was able to play a demo of it at Origins, and he was raving. I think it might have been like one of his top games that he played at Origins. So he said it was an amazing game. I think you're trading in the game. There's like gaining wealth and influencing the city as you're taking different actions. So yeah, based on what Larry said, I'm also interested in Marrakesh from Queen Games. Stefan Feld.
All right. I'm interested in demoing Tabriz, Tabriz. This is from Crafty Games.
Ooh, Crafty Games.
And you're moving meeples through the Grand Bazaar to collect resources and take actions in order to fulfill commissions.
Okay.
It sounds like your meeples can only move a certain number of spaces. I don't know if it's a one-way direction or exactly how that works, but it sounds like you're going to need a lot of planning to make sure you order things the right way.
Okay.
And there's also, the game features market fluctuations, so obviously you want to buy low, sell high.
Sounds interesting to me.
And you can also upgrade your skills so you can get better at doing things. Maybe move your meeples farther or get other benefits. So I thought that all sounded like interesting things to do in a game.
Well, one more quick mention. I'm going to put it as an honorable mention. It's called Scout. I think it's a one of the games for the Spiel des Jahres.
Yes. I haven't played it.
I haven't played it yet. I think you actually buy it there, but I wanted to mention a game because Melissa keeps talking about games. So look out for Scout. Well, do you have one more you want to mention real quick?
Maui from Next Move Games.
Ooh.
There's not a lot of information about it yet, but basically, think beach towels.
Is this a
on
Zool
a beach
themed?
No,
Okay.
It didn't look like a Zool to me, but it looked like you were trying to create certain patterns.
Sorry, I said that because Next Move is,
Right. They published
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue on.
It looks like you're trying to create certain patterns with the beach towel tiles, maybe certain colors or arrangements. I like puzzly type of things, tile laying, trying to match patterns. So that will also be available for demo. Now, Kevin and I will be at Gen Con.
Yes.
And there's another game we wanted to mention, but we wanted to give the disclaimer because we're actually going to be working at the publisher's booth during Gen Con.
We'll be helping at the Keymaster Games booth, so you can definitely check that booth out. Come say hi if you're going to be at Gen Con. We'll be helping there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so...
and the game, they're going to have a new expansion to Parks.
Oh, Parks
during
Wildlife.
Gen Con. And it brings new things, new parks, new all the different types of cards, of bison that's traveling around, so a few more things.
Yeah. And if you come to Keymaster, this is a little secret. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this or not, but I am going to be doing some magic tricks there at the booth. So come by, say hi. Maybe we can, I can perform a little magic where you can play a game and have some fun at the Keymaster Games booth. Like I said, we'll be there the whole time. And then, of course, we'll be traveling around to all the different booths on our off hours.
Hopefully getting in some of those demos and games from our anticipated list, maybe.
But we want to hear from you. Let us know down in the comments what games you found interesting that are going to be at Gen Con, whether they're going to be for sale there. Maybe you've already played ones that are going to be there. Maybe games that you saw are going to be for demo there. Let us know. We love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments what games you are anticipating that are going to be at Gen Con. As always, please like, subscribe, and let's spread the love of board gaming.
Our most anticipated board game.
Just one sentence.